Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nic Cage Fight Podcast, where every once in a while we stumble across a movie that is so aggressively bad it feels like it was created by people who have hate in their hearts, specifically towards storytelling. I am one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always by my faithful companions through good movies and bad, Rich and Ryan. How are we feeling, guys?
I'd rather be reading Gaunt's.
There you go.
At least Joel Schumacher can't hurt me anymore.
That you know of.
That you know of, yes.
Well, I mean, he's dead.
That you know of.
Damn it.
Are you implying that Joel Schumacher is a lich?
I'm implying maybe he faked his death or that ghosts are real. I'll leave it up to you, the listener.
Yeah, and he'll make his next movie 9mm. That's the sequel to 8mm because it's plus one.
It's explicitly a threat against your life. Actually, 9mm, that it would have been a brilliant sequel to 8mm. I'm just saying.
It could have been just revenge porn.
Yeah.
Well, and when I say revenge porn, I mean like John Wick, not like numerous websites that exist.
Yeah, like Death Wish, like The Exterminator, like any number of like 25% of my DVD collection.
But which websites, Josh? How do I avoid them if I don't know what they are?
So we have to talk about the movie.
No, we don't.
Trespass.
We don't. This has been the Cage Fight. Have a good day, everybody.
Honestly, I'd be fine with that as a joke, but we don't know the depths of the barrel that we were scraping. If we had all of the episodes, like every movie covered, and we're like, all right, this is the worst one. When we get to this one in the release schedule, we just do the intro and be like, fuck this movie, we're not talking about it, and have everybody be confused when we upload a 2-minute episode. Unfortunately, we don't know if it gets worse from here.
I think it does. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a worse time than this movie at some point, but I don't want to think about that right now. I don't want to think about Trespass.
We got to get through it. But Trespass, a 2011 film, rated
I'm looking
R.
at his filmography right now to see if there is something worse.
Rated R for no good reason, so far as I could tell. I don't remember explicit. Anyway, neither here nor there. We'll get into it.
They said the fuck word at least once.
Probably.
Yeah, there were a few fuck words. I was surprised to see that it was rated R.
You know what we could have done instead of this? We should have done a day and date for Sympathy for the Devil. That's out now.
We could have done that.
Yeah.
Clocking in at an insufferable hour and 31 minutes, this movie. And usually we like that runtime. Does not work here.
Nah, this could have been 17 minutes long and told the same fucking story.
It could have been an episode of fucking Law and Order.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been too long. Those are like 45 minutes, right? Fuck that noise.
Yeah, but they got like long commercial breaks. So you can catch your breath and be like, whew.
Well, yeah, those commercial breaks padded out to the full hour.
Well, yeah,
That's
no,
true.
but like give it like an old Nickelodeon cartoon. Like 1/2 hour was 2 8-minute long episodes.
Yeah.
That's what I need. I need an episode of Doug.
All right, let's get into housekeeping. The quicker we handle all of our main points here, the quicker we'll be done with this one. So first up, we have the director, Joel Schumacher, return guest,
Fuck this
not
guy.
friend of the pod.
Batman hates him. I hate him.
You may know him from the Bat Nipples.
Okay, you may know him from at least 3 pretty good movies and nothing else.
All right, so we're gonna run through some of the CV right now. We've got Falling Down. We've got The Lost Boys.
His best movie by a country mile.
Phone Booth. 8mm.
Okay.
Famously covered.
Your South Jersey really came out in Phone Booth.
Not really.
Yeah, it's very funny.
8mm, made famous by the episode that Nic Cage Fight Podcast made about it. Batman and Robin, the number 23. Let's just throw that in there. Blood Creek. He did a Phantom of the Opera
It was
at
bad.
one point.
Oh,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
terrible. Oh,
I know
he did.
Ryan famously fucking hated it.
Oh.
He did St. Elmo's Fire, which
He
is
did do
like
St. Elmo's Fire.
of all of those like Breakfast Club movies is the worst one.
Yeah.
And that's all I got for Schumacher. That's all I'm giving him.
Did you mention Flatliners?
I was about to say he did
Flatliners. My bad, Flatliners.
I will give him credit.
Flatliners is pretty solid, and The Incredible Shrinking Woman is a fun watch, but not a good movie.
All right, so writers. We got a writer on this one, Carl Gajusek, who wrote Oblivion, The November Man, Blood Brother, The Last Days of American Crime, and The Kingsman. I think most recently.
And like 4 episodes of a show I actually like, Dead Like Me.
Yeah, you called that out, I think, when we announced the film that we were covering. All right. So with that, we can move on to the cast. And this is probably you don't know it yet, listener, but this is probably the most depressing part of what we're going to cover here, because you could have done things with this cast. You could have made a film. So first up, Man of the Hour every hour, even an hour of mourning, Nic Cage as Kyle Miller. You know him, you love him, especially if you're listening to us dipshits talk about only films that he's in.
Yeah, I would hope that you love him.
Yeah, exactly, because he loves you. So next up, we have Nicole Kidman as Sarah Miller. Nicole Kidman, who's been in a number of films. I honestly just picked out some of the weirder options and more recent options, but everybody knows who Nicole Kidman is. She was in
I was going to say,
Rouge.
like, has she been in anything where she was just like, oh man, Nicole Kidman is real good? Because like I
really like her in the Stepford Wives. I think she's excellent in that movie.
Stepford Wives,
and Practical Magic. Practical Magic's a banger.
The Others was kind of big when it came out.
Yeah, I remember liking that one, but not like thinking that she was great in it. Just thinking it was sufficiently atmospheric for. I think that's a Henry James story that they're adapting, like The Turn of the Screw or some shit like that.
Right, but like, okay, so I remember she was like a really big name in like the late 90s, because I remember, like the fucking Eyes Wide Shut, and everybody was about that movie before they realized it's dog shit.
Yo, no, Eyes Wide Shut's solid. It's
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? You don't talk shit on Eyes Wide Shut.
I have been told it's dog shit.
You've been told it's dog shit by people who are like anti fucking
rich people orgies.
Rich people orgies, yeah. It's creepy. It's weird. I hate Tom Cruise, but I still like that movie.
Sexual and violent.
Yeah, but look, how is the spread of that orgy?
It's a bunch of people in like occult masks. That's all you need to know.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia, clowns on it in an episode.
There should have been a spread. I feel like all orgies need a spread.
Something light, salads maybe.
No. You can go.
No, you can go, man.
You can go fried chicken and
fried chicken, sloppy joes.
The logistics are against you here, man.
I mean, there's just a table with whipped cream on it.
that it does work as a spread in that scenario. But more recently, she was in The Northman, which was good. Like, I don't know if that's like a cancelable opinion to have. I thought The Northman was entertaining.
Oh, is that the Robert Eggers joint?
Yeah.
Okay, I keep meaning to watch that because I love Viking shit, and Willem Dafoe's there.
Yeah, and in peak Willem Dafoe condition for this film.
I saw.
But she wasn't
shredded like cheese in that.
She was in Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is a film I did not enjoy.
No, isn't that a film that nobody will enjoy?
This is true. Like, I recently saw some discourse online. There's like, what are films that have just like the worst vibes or worst auras? Oh, it's like something about like Real Evil. And somebody had mentioned Killing of a Sacred Deer. Now, I understand what they were going for there. It was a analogy of a Greek story, but it was just exhausting to watch. In fact, it had me so gun shy. I originally, when I first watched Banshees of Inisherin, I was like, please don't be like this. And it wasn't. Banshees of Inisherin was a fantastic fucking film. I highly recommend it. But in the beginning, I was really worried.
So this discourse about evil vibe movies. Did they mention some Lars von Trier shit? Because there are some movies that he's made that make me deeply uncomfortable.
That was
watching
that was like low hanging fruit. In fact,
Yeah,
most
okay.
people's picks started with like
Dancer in the
setting
Dark,
aside
fucking...
Von Trier.
Okay, yeah. I like some of his movies. I think Antichrist actually whips ass, and there's at least another one I kind of like, Melancholia, the movie about a plague of depression, and the person that saves the day is just someone who was already depressed. That actually was kind of cool for me.
Wait, was Antichrist that Willem Dafoe movie?
Oh yeah,
where he gets
they had to use a prosthetic hog because his real hog was too threatening.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
Yeah. I've watched this, and no, I will pass.
Also, Ryan, I do have to check out Melancholia, because what you describe that story being is exactly what I tell people my superpower is. When everybody else gets hit with seasonal depression, I'm just at my baseline depression. Yeah. So I'm working above the crowd at that point.
It's solid. I really like that movie. It's got some fucked up stuff in it because it's a Von Trier, but what are you going to do?
All right. Also, Nicole Kidman was in Paddington, the movie.
Hey, that's a legitimately great film.
I love Paddington and Paddington too.
Me going from singing the praises of Antichrist to singing the praises of Paddington.
Yo, Paddington and Speed Racer are two films specifically that I constantly hear praise of, that there's a bunch of people who would never watch those films because they don't think it's in their particular lane, but consistent, like, these are phenomenal fucking movies that I know not enough people have seen. So.
Absolutely, that Speed Racer movie is an all-timer.
I know.
It's the greatest live-action anime film of all time.
It's the way people talk about those two films. I don't know if any other films fit into that category. We have to have a discussion about this one of these days, because I'd like to build out what qualifies as a Paddington or a Speed Racer movie. Next up, we have, God damn it, we looked up how to pronounce this name and I already forget it. It's Gigandet?
More stink on the first G. Gigandet.
Cam
Gigandet.
As Jonah. This guy has been in Never Back Down, Priest, Twilight, and Pandorum, which was actually a film I enjoyed. I don't know.
Wait, say Twilight again. You were like Twilight.
Oh, you know Twilight? That's me. I'm the guy from Twilight. Sorry, I've watched What We Do in the Shadows way too many times. My guy. I can't say the name of the film normally. I just hear the character saying he's the guy from Twilight. So yeah, Pandorum I actually liked. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like a science fiction film. Dennis Quaid isn't the crazy one. Randy Quaid is the crazy one, right?
Correct. Randy Quaid is the one that's out of his mind.
He's the one that like went and hid in Canada.
Yeah. Dennis Quaid was in this film. So was this guy, and it was actually pretty dope.
Okay.
Next up, we have fucking Ben Mendelsohn as Elias, who has been in a number of things. I'm gonna get through the more recent ones that people are gonna definitely know about. He was in Dark Knight Rises. He was in Rogue One. He was in Ready Player One. He was in the Outsider HBO TV series, which he did phenomenally in. And then a number of films that I enjoyed very much, each one of them in no particular order: Mississippi Grind, Killing Them Softly, and The Place Beyond the Pines.
Yo, I love Mississippi Grind.
I know you love Mississippi Grind.
So good. I'm going to watch it tonight, actually.
And I love Killing Them Softly a whole lot. One of my favorite pictures.
And I'll shout out Quigley Down Under, a Tom Selleck, not a Western, it's an Australian rancher movie, but Mendelsohn's in that, and that movie is pretty fucking good.
Nice. From here, we have Liana Liberato as Avery Miller, who is in If I Stay, Trust, The Best of Me, Stuck in Love, and because I'm doing my I Wish It Was Fall rewatch, Sons of Anarchy, which is what I recognized her from. Next up, we have Jordana Spiro as Petal, who is in Must Love Dogs, The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard, the Fear Street trilogy. That was the R.L. Stine trio of films that was released on Netflix in the last couple years. And she was also in Ozark. Very good in Ozark.
Yeah, that's the only thing I knew her from was Ozark.
The Goods? Have you ever seen The Goods?
I blocked that movie out of my memory.
Shame on you. The Goods was fucking
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah. You have seen it.
Yeah, because it's Jeremy Piven and fucking Senior Chang from Community.
Yeah, it's like it's a Will Ferrell movie, not starring Will Ferrell, basically. Then we have Dash Mihok, not sure how to pronounce that last name, as Ty, who was in Romeo and Juliet, the 1996 one.
Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah.
The really good one.
It is really good
one. I know. That's why I said it.
No, that soundtrack kicks ass.
But he was also in The Thin Red Line, A Million Little Pieces, Punisher Warzone, and I Am Legend.
And I'll shout out Kiss Kiss Bang Bang because I like that movie.
Yeah,
and Hollywoodland, which was a criminally underrated movie about George Reeves, the first guy who was the live action Superman in the old Hollywood serials before Christopher Reeves, his son, took over in the 70s.
Nice.
I have to check how he died, and nobody really knows what happened.
Huh. And then last up, we have Emily Mead as Kendra. She was in Boardwalk Empire, My Soul to Take, Gimme Shelter, The Deuce, and Trial by Fire. Just to name a few.
Apparently something called Mother May I Sleep with Danger, which I'm only shouting out because that's a great name.
Isn't that a TV movie?
Yeah, that's what it's showing.
I'm pretty sure that's like a fucking Lifetime bit.
It's a fucking James Franco movie.
Is it really?
Fucking weird. Yeah. It's apparently a college girl introduces her mother to her girlfriend who happens to be a vampire.
Oh, shit. I feel like this was on TV all the fucking time because I saw that name. I was like, I recognize that name, but I've never seen that film. All right. And then last up, we have a bunch of fucking ads. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
It's all downhill from here, folks. If that housekeeping got you psyched up, prepare for your hopes and dreams to be dashed. It'll be a good preparation for, the further you get into adulthood. Anyway, listen to this ad for BYU. Ooh, buddy. Those are some good ads, I assume.
I just got my acceptance letter to BYU and Phoenix University. Is Phoenix University still a thing?
I don't know.
Did they get sued into oblivion?
They might have. What's the new mail-in college for private?
Oh my god,
sport?
I feel like I see ads for them all the time. Is it some New Hampshire University or something?
Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, one of their grads, I think, had a hand in doctoring up this script because we got to get into it.
Yeah, we might as well.
So we open up on, and I apologize to the listeners ahead of time. My notes on this are a mess because the movie's kind of a mess and doesn't know what it wants to do at any point in time until the end, where it really triples down on just punishing the viewer. So bear with me. We open up on a guy driving a Porsche. It's Nic Cage, of course, and he is talking on the phone and he is doing business jargon.
He's also doing a voice.
Yeah, he is.
A little. The voice comes in after he takes some licks, because in the beginning I was like, this isn't like the voice that you said it was. And then he got hit a couple times. I was like, there it is. there's the voice.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's doing standard business jargon. He's driving a fancy car, okay? He's talking on a cell phone while he's driving. So he's bringing that business jargon. The part that got me in this opening thing is he's doing the business jargon flawlessly, but he is giving no space between lines to make you think that there is a person on the other end having an unheard portion of the conversation. He's like, well, then you're just going to leave me hanging, huh? Well, then we should just do this. We can make money on this, man. There's no pauses between his lines. So I don't know what this person is saying other than trying to get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
And he goes, by the way, this also made me laugh a little bit. He goes from talking to one dude about something about real estate and then hops on another call and he's talking about selling diamonds. It was like, is this guy just a very generic cartoonish businessman? He just what do we make here? It's like, we make money. That's what we do. That's
I'm going to office to do business.
Yeah, he just picked up the phone. It's like, hello, business? Yes, I'd like 100 stocks, please.
Look, I'm thinking maybe that crack about this being written by someone from some fly-by-night mail-in fucking college might be right. I think we might have a me-fail screenwriting class that's impossible situation.
So he pulls up to this like ludicrous contemporary mansion type building that has like that front gate, security gate thing with like masonry walls and a wrought iron gate thing, which is extra funny because the rest of the property is apparently encircled in standard chain link fencing, which is not how I think actual rich people's homes are defended. Personally, I have no experience. I'm not invited to them. So inside this is Kyle Miller. His wife and daughter are having a little bit of an argument. The daughter wants to go to a party, and the mom wants them all to sit down and have dinner together as a family. Ultimately, the daughter, Avery, is told no and that she has to stay for dinner. Kyle is trying to lock down some weird diamond deal. He's on the phone like the entire time he comes in and greets his family. And then the idea of sitting down at family dinner is shot down incredibly unceremoniously. Like Kyle's got to go try and lock up this diamond deal. Avery goes and locks herself in her room. We do see that Kyle pulls an envelope out of his briefcase or his desk, somewhere like that. And we don't get a glimpse of what is inside it. There's like some kind of picture or documents. We don't really get a good look at it. By the way, I just want to take a moment. The decoration inside this house is horrible. Do you guys agree with me on that one?
Yeah, it looks like a fucking Verbo.
No, it looks like the lobby of the worst bougie hotel you've ever been in.
Yes.
It's somehow worse than that. It's like, I think it feels like you gave somebody a bunch of money and made them recreate the worst bougie hotel lobby they could think of.
What it reminds me, because I just watched this movie the other day. Ever see Boiler Room?
I think so. Give me
that's the one with Vin Diesel about stocks and shit.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yes. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, give me the one sentence on that, but yeah, I have seen Boiler Room.
Vin Diesel stinks. So there's like a
Ben Affleck's in that film.
Yeah. There's like a throwaway line in the film. It's not meant to be a throwaway line, but they're just like, yeah, these guys keep buying multi-million-dollar homes and don't know what to do with the inside of them.
Yeah.
They're having like a party, and the guy has no furniture. They're watching a big screen TV sitting on lawn chairs because he doesn't know what to do. Like, that's what this house looks like.
Yeah, there's like one love scene.
That one streamer who they showed it was like they did like a sort of MTV Cribs thing, and they go inside of his house, and he's got like his computer desk in one room, and that is about it. He's like sleeping on the floor on a futon and shit. But it's like a multi-million-dollar fucking house.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think it might have been one of the Paul brothers, come to think of it.
You threw me right back into the only memory I have of MTV Cribs, which I watched on occasion when I was a teenager, and seeing all those mansions. Not a single.
Was it the one where they go to Jerry O'Connell's house and he's just living in a 1-bedroom apartment and he's like, yeah, this is my fridge?
No, but it's incredibly similar. It was fucking Moby. Moby just lived in like a fucking apartment in New York City, and it looked like the tiny apartment I was living in college. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Because he gives all his money to PETA.
I remember this fucking
and trying to hit on Natalie Portman when she was underage.
Yeah.
I remember this episode with Moby because I remember him breaking out like a little fucking push box to make music on it. He's just like, oh yeah, I like this because it's really unique. I push the top and then the sound comes out like a piano, and I'm just like, it's a fucking accordion, you idiot.
I just remembered he had like fucking Matt Groening like comics or a book of his
like Life is Hell stuff.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Those rabbits from the
that
most people only know from the Simpsons arcade game.
Yep.
Yeah, and then there was one MTV Crib. I forget what rapper it was, but the episode was released on like September 2nd, 2001. I think it might have been Run DMC. And he lived like at the base of the World Trade Tower, and they had this big disclaimer on it, like, he's fine, the house is not.
Holy shit.
I forget what rap. I remember it was a rapper. Is all
I'm going to need to find this out because there's a measure of curiosity. You put a seed in me of curiosity.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out. That's got to live in the portion of my brain that stores trivia, like the fact that a Limp Bizkit music video is probably one of the last pieces of media recorded on those buildings before they were destroyed.
Which one, Roland?
Yes. I'm almost positive it was like they wrapped filming on that on like 9/10.
Well, you'll be loving this shit right here. LIMP. Biscuit is right here.
I'm telling you, man.
It was Russell Simmons.
Okay.
Whew. All right.
That solves.
Can you tell we don't want to fucking talk about this movie? Were you curious about that?
We could sum this movie up in like 4 sentences. Let's talk about something else.
All right. Wait. There's little annoying things that we have to fucking roast this film for. Right. And we're coming up on the very first fucking one. So dinner's fucked, right? That's not happening. All right. Avery's locked in her room. Kyle's got a business meeting. Sarah seems annoyed by it. She tries to drop off dinner to Avery. Avery gives some perfunctory responses through the door, and mom leaves dinner like on a fucking takeaway tray in front of the kids' locked door. I was not raised this way personally, so I can't relate. But Avery is 100% sneaking out. Of course she is. After the parents leave her door unattended, she sneaks out full party outfit mode and sneaks out of this house. This house has a security system. And for whatever reason, you don't even have to show it to us on screen. We know what fucking security systems are, but they insist on showing us Avery hitting the bypass on the alarm, and the code to bypass the alarm is 9.
Well, me and Rich were actually talking about this before you hopped on the call. We think that maybe either a continuity error where they didn't show her putting in the first 4 digits of the code, or she's designating the what was it the phrasing that you said, the zone. So
because I used to work in a warehouse that had all these fucking bypass zones, and none of them fucking worked correctly because the owner was a dipshit and refused to repair things. So you had to bypass certain zones. So you would click bypass 12, bypass 18, bypass 2, and then set the alarm. So she may have just been bypassing a zone to turn off
the alarm for a specific door or window that she was
right, or a motion sensor or some shit.
All right. So I have been in residential households that had fancy alarms, and I haven't seen one where there's a single button kill code. In fact, I've seen cops come out the houses because the soccer mom couldn't punch in the fucking code fast enough to disable the alarm after they walked into the house. So hitting 9 and walking out of the house and no alarms going off, that one's throwing me a little bit.
Yeah,
and also
ever see that fucking episode of Home Improvement where fucking Tim Allen tries to put a security system on his house and makes the code 37 digits long? It's actually just 1488 12 times.
Nice. All that was solid. You caught me with that one. I was like, why the fuck are we talking about Tim Allen? Good. I like that one. Okay.
I thought it was an off ramp to talk about Al Borland.
I wish. Al Borland is a treasure.
True.
All right. And also, it can't be a continuity error because 9 is not any of it's not the last digit of the code.
It's 14479 was the code that I caught later in the movie.
No.
Ooh, what? Killed him. Killed him.
They put it in twice, but it's different each time. So there's some continuity shit going on there.
Okay. All right. Because the actual code is 7466, which is funny because I wrote it down when I saw him punch it in. And there's this. All right. Hold on. Let me get to that. Anyway, what you need to take away from this, listener, is that Avery hits the number 9 and leaves the house and no fucking alarms go off. And then this is where we learn the rest of the grounds' security, because she runs to a chain link fence, hops over it, and gets in the car with her bad influence friend Kendra, and they drive off to the party. Kyle has found a lighter and cigarette butts by the pool when he arrived home, and brings it up to Sarah because he thinks Avery might be smoking. Nobody seems to care about this. Both Sarah's like, no, I don't think so, and Kyle's like, fucking okay. This requires no more discussion.
Yeah,
which
sure.
is fucking crazy, man. That's a conversation you have to have.
No, apparently not. Apparently you don't have to have it.
No. But Sarah,
well, yeah, of course not. Smoking is cool. Teens want to be cool.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
but
it.
like the way it plays in the movie is so funny because Sarah's like, nah, I don't think so. And they're both just like, all right, like no curiosity about who is smoking by the fucking pool outside.
Well, like who left this gold Zippo?
Debatably, Sarah is trying to deflect because she made Nic Cage into a cuckold.
No.
Cuckold.
No. Yes, but no.
Yes, but no.
Which is crazy. Which means at this point in the film, she has no reason not to try and fucking say that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
people would pay to have Nicole Kidman cuck them.
So Sarah tries to, speaking of all this, Sarah tries to seduce Kyle into a quickie before he has to leave for his business meeting. And he's like, no.
He's like, no, business.
Which is funny. But as he goes to leave, he gets buzzed from the front gate by a cop. I guess because we just see like the chest and the badge. Like the man has to be standing uncomfortably close to a camera that is meant to capture the entire image of the person trying to get into your fucking property.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a cop. He's like, I'm gonna cover my face. You can just see my badge number, motherfucker.
Yeah. So the cop gets buzzed in, and Sarah goes to check on Avery. When Kyle goes to disarm the alarm, this is where I wrote down the code is 7466. And I specifically put in my notes, it's not just 9. Again, he's just opening the front fucking door. Why don't you just disable zone 1? So Sarah uses a key to unlock Avery's room and finds out that she's gone just as Kyle opens the door for the cops that are not cops, but dudes in ski masks who run in and tackle him. Then another guy, not dressed as a cop, comes in the back door, along with just another woman who's wearing a bandana, joins in. We got 4 bandits in the house at this point.
4 banditos, if you will.
Yeah, if you're keeping track at home. So Sarah runs, makes it to the car, tries to drive off, but she's stopped in the driveway by one of these robbers holding Kyle hostage with a gun to his head. So we cut to Avery and Kendra, who have arrived at a truly grating rich teenagers house party. Oh, sorry. We cut directly back from this, and I have to talk about this part because I think this is a continuity error because it is corrected later in the film. But at least one of the dipshit robbers has like electrical tape around the tips of his fingers. I'm assuming to prevent fingerprints.
That's what I was assuming.
Yeah.
But why is he not just fucking wearing gloves?
That's a really good question.
And then
I don't know.
Because the tape looks cooler. It pops on camera, baby.
It doesn't. It looks stupid. And at this point, another one of the robbers who has tape around the tips of his fingers later in the film does not appear to have any coverings on his hand whatsoever. And I can tell you from paying close attention to it, Petal, that's who we find out the name of the lady bandit, she is not doing anything to try and prevent fucking latent forensic
she is
evidence
not doing
from being
She's
left.
getting her grubby little mitts on everything.
And like smoking crack and
yeah. Like she's not doing anything proactive. She runs in, starts like smoking crack in the house, watches some home videos, puts on Nicole Kidman's
like
dress
in her underwear, tries on clothes, and it's fucking absurd.
Yeah, she's like the weird friend you bring to a party who doesn't know anybody and just goes off into the other room. Like,
Hangs out with the dog.
Hey guys, is it okay if I bring my girlfriend? Like, I don't know, she's just being really weird about it. So like, can she come to our heist, please?
So the robbers press the couple for the codes for the alarm, and Kyle gives them a fake code. The fake code, and this is what gave me pause when I was listening to it. He's like, yeah, the code is 7465. And I was like, did I not watch him punch that incorrectly? Because I obsessively watch people punch in numbers just because I've played video games my whole life. And I was like, this is a clue that's going to help me later.
Don't sell anything. Don't sell anything. You might need it later.
Yeah. So that's actually not the case. I was right in my first recording. The code is 7466. Kyle tells the robber 7465, and they go to punch this in. But the robber puts in 7466 because he knows that Kyle gave him the dummy code that automatically calls the cops because they've scoped this out. They know the security system, people. This is a high stakes heist. That's what's going on. Even if they do have dumb tape around their fingers and brought a meth head to a high stakes robbery.
There's a lot of inconsistencies in this movie now that I think about it, because I did forget about that. And it's like some of the things they do later on make them seem very inept.
It is a shit show because they are inept, because they're written that way. It's the Betty Boop conundrum. They're not terrible actors. They're just written that way.
It's like one of those things where it's like the actor goes, why would my character do this? Because it's written that way.
It reminds me of Ben Affleck on the extras, like the interviews that they did for the Armageddon DVD. And he's like, I kept asking, like, why train drillers to be astronauts? Why not just train astronauts to be drillers? And they're like, shut the fuck up, Ben. So back at the party, the kid who's throwing it tries to impress Avery with his dad's coke and money and prescription drug collection in the fucking safe, and tries to get her to agree to sleep with him, and she calls a cab instead.
That's one of my favorite parts too. Like, his dad's a money hoarder and I believe he even says in case money becomes worthless, and it's just like, well, that'll start a fire real good, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember what, like, it wasn't that money would become worthless. What he was saying with the like collapse of everything is like his dad has a stash of prescription drugs in there. And it's like, just in case the society collapses, he needs fucking money and guns and drugs.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which is fine. But if you're hoarding currency for the impending collapse, you want to go gold. Speaking of, listen to these ads for gold sellers. We do not get a cut of those profits, and recommend that you have a good understanding of the current market values for any precious metals that you purchase off the internet.
Wait, you mean you're not getting gold bullion for this shit? I am.
You are.
Make a good gold soup out of
that. Make some killer Nicole Schlager out of that. Anyway, listen to these ads, guys. It's going to be better than the rest of this plot, I promise. Those are some good ads. I spent that time contemplating that we could have picked. No, we could have picked any topic for a podcast. Maybe something that made people particularly angry, and we could have just hocked like supplements that we just bought and in bulk and paid a minor fee to repackage and drop ship out. But instead we picked.
We could still buy a bunch of creatine.
Oh man, sugar pills. Let's just do sugar pills.
No, just like sawdust and duck liver, and and we'll call it cage pills. Get cage pilled. We'll give you a boner.
Dick Cage fight.
Yeah, Dick Cage fight. That's another good one.
It'll give you a raging boner, and it'll also give you a nice pump at the gym.
We got a million names for scam products. We just that's not the business model we went with.
What else could it do to just get the dumbest people to buy it? You can hoard it for wealth. You could trade it for gold when society collapses.
Again, we picked the wrong topic for that. We honestly picked a relatively benign thing to cover based on our mutual appreciation for a very specific actor whose career spans the gamut between good and bad. It's an entire spectrum of filmmaking, and that just does not invoke pure rage and fear in our audience. So there's no money in it.
Yeah, I know.
That's just how these things go, baby. But at least we have our integrity.
We could have just been
noodles.
InfoWars.
Yeah, but if we were going to try and one-up InfoWars, we would have to get even weirder with it. Just go super deep conspiracy. Like the moon landing wasn't faked. The moon is fake.
I would want to
that's correct. Are you telling me that there's a big ball up there? That's fucking crazy.
What holds it up there?
No. I would want to try to convince people that they shouldn't invest in gold. They should invest in dirt.
Yeah, because they're not making any more of it.
Yeah. There's a finite amount of dirt on this planet, baby.
Get it on the ground floor under your
dirt. $100 an ounce. It's a steal.
You gotta make it special dirt. It's gotta be like healing dirt. You make homeopathic mud out of it. There's a market there.
Yeah, I know there is. That's terrifying.
Colloidal dirt.
Yeah, we just give them. Yeah, we give them just soil from a South Jersey super site. It'll make you feel tingly.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm taking that dirt right
That's
out of that fucking dump from Egg Harbor Township.
There you go. All right, so we get to the crux of.
I don't want to keep talking about this movie. I'm going to talk about dirt.
I know you don't.
This movie is dirt.
It is, but
hey,
the
dirt's useful,
and not the good kind of dirt like that Alice in Chains album.
The funny thing is like with bad movies, if you're a bad movie, that does not count you out from getting praise from us, which is why it's so much more disappointing when we get a bad movie that has literally zero redeeming qualities.
This is bad, boring, and annoying all at once. It's like it's the triple. They fucking hat tricked everything I hate about like bad movies.
Fucking like the Michael Jordan of making a shit fuck movie.
Yeah.
It's almost impressive.
And he took that personally.
I know
I fucking love The Last Dance. I fucking love that show.
So, all right. The robbers reveal they're here because they're after the contents of Kyle's safe. They know he's got money and shit in it, or diamonds, or something the fuck. They do clown on him a bit for having his safe hidden by a fucking shitty.
It's a portrait of himself.
No, it's not.
It's not. They said it was a picture of him, didn't they?
No. He said they clown on it like you have a safe hidden behind a piece of art, and Kyle's like, no, it's for the aesthetic. You don't want it. You don't want just like a bare safe sitting behind you in your study or something fucking stupid like that. But the piece of art itself is just like pure black canvas with like a red sort of jagged slice through the middle of it.
Okay.
It's ugly like the rest of his life.
It's just also, by the way, the rest of his office is fucking bare. First of all, he has a desk that you can see the legs of. It's like one of those like postmodern IKEA fucking steel leg and thin oak top desks with, again, like a new age office chair, super thin, instead of like a overstuffed leather or something like that. And I think it's on a single nondescript area rug on otherwise hardwood floors, and the only other thing in the fucking room is one piece of art on the wood paneled wall. That's it. There's no decoration in this motherfucker at all. It's bad. It's new money fancy house bad. That's what it is. It's McMansion bad.
Yeah, because his house is bare. It's completely barren.
And devoid of personality. Completely. So Kyle refuses to open the safe for him. And the robbers are like, we know you got diamonds in there. And so Kyle, I'll give him this. Specifically, I'll give the writer some credit, but I also like how Nic Cage does play this part. It's with like, when you corner a nerd about his nerd thing and he fucking claps back at you. They're like, we want the diamonds. We're going to be rich. And Kyle's like, all right, who's cutting the diamonds for you? They're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, if you're stealing diamonds, I assume you know how they're tracked. Like, you know something about them, how they're tracked, how you can handle the laser engraving that is used to track their origin, all of the things about their quality, their actual owner. The only way to sell stolen diamonds is to recut them and shave that shit off. So who's cutting your diamonds for you? The one robber actually wants to hear him out on this. The other robbers are just like, he's just talking shit. But Kyle proposes a counter offer. Their offer was, we're gonna rob you, and his offer was, listen, I will help you rob me and get away with it because you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing, and then I'll just claim the insurance. You get the diamonds and are able to sell them and make money, and I will claim insurance for them being stolen, so I'm left whole too. It's actually not a bad fucking offer, in my opinion.
They really should have taken it.
They should have. But also that plan would have fallen apart immediately as well.
Well, yeah.
It's just, it was a good bluff on Kyle's part. So yeah, after this offer, one of the robbers blows up Kyle's spot by saying, "Hey, they have cash. He has cash too. I know he has cash. I saw him sign for cash and get a bunch of cash. Let's just take that." So at this point, Sarah has a moment of clarity and recognition. She recognizes one of the robbers. I'm just going to go out there with the names real quick, just because I referred to them as individual robbers until their names were revealed in the film, because that's how they stick in my head. But the robber she recognizes is Jonah. One of the robbers' name is Elias. That's Ben Mendelsohn. One of the big muscle dudes robber's name is Ty, I think.
Yeah, Ty's the big dude.
And then Lady Bandit is Petal. So we'll be referring to them by name from here on out. So yeah, Sarah recognizes Jonah because he worked for the security company and installed the security system. This is where their knowledge of the security system and the access codes comes from. At this point, we cut to Petal, who is smoking crack or meth in one of the fucking bedrooms in her bra and panties and watching, just spooling up their old, family videos, which is incredibly creepy, even for meth or crackhead behavior, just sort of in general. Not explicitly looking down on any sort of addiction, but if you break into somebody's house and then indulge in your addiction while watching their home movies, I am judging you. It's a very specific confluence of circumstances in which my judgment comes out, folks.
It's a very, very specific kink, I feel.
It's a well-defined line of mine. Yeah, this was a great cutaway just because it's such a bonkers scene, and then we cut away from it again immediately.
Yeah, we're not allowed to stew in it. And it's filth.
No, it's just like here's something actually mildly interesting occurring. But that's it. You've had enough. And then we cut back to Kyle being told that they're not going to take his deal, and then he has to open the safe or they're going to hurt Sarah in front of him. So Kyle says if they let Sarah go, he'll open the safe for him. His whole thing is, hey, look, I don't see you guys have any rope or tape, which is super dumb because they definitely do have it later in the film.
Yeah.
He's like, so I know once you get what you want, you're going to kill us because there's no way you'd leave us unrestrained and alive. So my negotiation is let her go, and as soon as she is away from your grasp, I will give you what you want, and then you can fucking kill me, basically, is the unspoken portion of that. So Elias tells Ty to go get the, quote, magic wand. Ty comes back with it, and the magic wand is a syringe.
A Hitachi?
Yeah. It is a syringe filled with some sort of substance. Elias clues us in and says that this substance is a paralytic. It is what they use on you in the hospital to keep you still and unfeeling while they perform surgery on you. So this is how we will restrain you once you give us what we need. So a timer goes off on Ty's watch, the muscle robber, and he's like, time's up, and he throws Sarah, and then Jonah comes in and pulls a gun on Ty and threatens to kill him if he touches Sarah again. Now we get a flashback. Also, by the way, this movie uses flashbacks and hates fucking flashbacks because I don't think they understand the concept. You'd think Schumacher would understand the concept. I don't know if that got lost in editing or something like that, but these flashbacks suck. So we get confirmation that Jonah is the one who installed the entirety of the security system. It is a very long flashback because we also get bits of Jonah, presumably, I guess, after he was done working for the day, just sitting in the backyard by the pool, smoking cigarettes and watching Sarah through the windows. So we learn where those cigarettes and lighter came from, I guess.
So weird.
It is very weird. At this point, Petal comes down wearing one of Sarah's dresses. which upsets Jonah again, who starts yelling. Elias takes Sarah out of the study with the safe, and Ty threatens Kyle when they're left alone, saying, that safe has, a biometric element to it. Your fingers going on that touchpad, whether it's connected to you or not at the time, is up to you. And this confused me at the time. And I get an answer for it later, and the answer is fucking stupid. But I'm like, why didn't they just fucking punch him unconscious and touch his thumb to the safe in the first place? And the answer is because it has a biometric element and it still has a fucking push code. So I don't know what Ty's threat fucking means here at all.
It's because this movie's dumb and it hates us.
Correct.
Just so we know. Just so we're all on the same page.
Yeah. Here's my thing, right? Even with a bad movie, you can make a bad movie, you can make a boring story, and we'll still give credit where credit is due with specific scenes or pick out little things that we like about it. You can't set up rules and ignore those rules repeatedly. I mean, there's a point, I guess, to be made for painting an inept protagonist or antagonist, for that matter. But that's not what's happening here.
There are some movies that do that exceptionally well, like Blue Ruin. My favorite movie about a dude that just sucks shit at doing revenge.
Yeah, I fucking love. Have we talked about this trio of films before?
I think so. Blue Ruin, Green Room, the fuck's
Murder
the other
Party.
One? Murder Party. Yeah. Okay.
Murder Party being the literal artsiest of it, since I read it as just a flat out critique of the art scene in general.
Yeah, like sniffing their own farts, art kids.
Yeah, but very fun.
It is a very fun movie. I agree with that. Unlike this is not a fun movie.
It's not a fun
movie.
No,
it is not.
You can, like I said, you can do inept just fine. That's not what's occurring here in any way, shape, or form. It's just bad world building and storytelling in general. So Elias has walked Sarah out into the kitchen at this point and tells her that he knows that he says fucked with Jonah, who is his younger brother. So we learn that Jonah is Elias's younger brother. And though his language is a little bit confusing, it is heavily implied that Sarah and Jonah slept together. Elias makes Sarah admit that she deserves to die, and that's why she's going to die, but everybody else can live in the house, so long as she gets Kyle to open up the safe. Mendelsohn does his damnedest here, in my opinion, to come across as menacing, and I think he does a halfway decent job, but the writing is just, it's bad. It's very lacking here. So there's only so much you can do. Sarah manages to lift the syringe filled with paralytic off Elias during his menacing speech, and she does say she'll get Kyle to open the safe. So at this point, Avery has arrived back home from her little jaunt to this party that she ended up hating anyway, and sneaks into the house and calls out for her mom and dad. Sarah and Kyle immediately start screaming, "You gotta run." The robbers just scramble off after her. It's a bit chaotic, but then Jonah finally grabs her. Also, just like a fucking sticking point for me, like she hides behind a filing cabinet or something, and like Petal and Jonah are stalking through the house, and Jonah clearly walks past her through another room, and then she goes to dip out the door that he originally came in from, and he's right there and grabs her. That annoys me. That is not how spatial relation works.
In his mind, wouldn't this be his soon-to-be future daughter?
I mean, I don't think he has that kind of cogent thought.
All right,
he
fair.
Fucking definitely doesn't. And even if he did, the writers definitely don't. But he's not like overly violent with her here, as far as like kidnappings go, I guess.
This is where the movie like really gets off the rails, by the way, listener. Like, you think it's off the rails already? Like, this is where it really fucking goes.
Yeah, it's been doing so well so far. So now Avery is in the study with the safe with Kyle and Sarah, And Elias gives them a little sob story. He explains he's doing this because his mom needs a new kidney. And that kidney is going to cost her $180,000. So he isn't leaving this house unless he has $180,000 or a new kidney. And if he's got to leave with a kidney, unfortunately, the younger the kidney, the better. Explicitly threatening Avery.
And for our international listeners, yes, that is how healthcare works in America.
I mean, but like, don't you have two kidneys?
Yeah, you do. I wouldn't give one to somebody robbing.
Yeah, but
house. You don't give it to him. I'm saying, like, just be a little bathtub full of ice situation for her. That would have been a more interesting movie.
It would have.
I mean, honestly, if they just did that and then we didn't see the bandits again, and it just ended up being with them dealing with that crisis, better movie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, much better.
That's movie. Fucking interesting.
Yeah. Unlike this movie.
It's Joel Schumacher. He ruins everything he touches.
There weren't enough nipples in this for this to really feel like a Schumacher joint.
There was not enough nipples, and there was not enough James Gandolfini.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And there's our one.
Yep.
With this threat levied against Avery, Sarah makes her move. She snags Elias and holds him hostage with the syringe with the paralytic. And says she's going to shoot him up with the entire amount, which, by the way, he explained the whole amount would kill somebody, but it's like enough to paralyze a couple of people without killing them, when he was trying to assure Kyle that their plan wasn't to kill him once they got what they wanted. So she says she's going to shoot Elias up with this unless they let Avery go. So Ty makes a big show about taking off his jacket and putting something in the pocket and then putting it on Avery and then pushing her out the front door and rearming the lock, which, by the way, this took me a minute to figure out. They have a front fucking door. And then also Kyle's study with the safe has an exterior door attached to it. Did you guys catch that? Or
no, but that's dumb as shit. Somebody fucked up making their Sims house.
That just sounds like a rich person's house. I mean,
is it like the Winchester Mystery House? Is this on the second floor and it's a door to nowhere?
It's not on the second floor. It's like past the steps. If you came in the front door, it's to the right. No, I'm sorry. So the steps are already to the left of the front door.
I can't keep the architecture of this dog shit house in my mind.
Wait, it gets worse. There is a big floor to ceiling window, again, directly to the outside in that study that is not super apparent which means, by the way, that the robbers are doing all of this threatening and torturing like in full view of anybody who manages to get the right angle on this house.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like it's all covered by a tree line, but yeah, it's a rich person. They deserve it.
True.
No. But what I was is that it's probably like there's probably trees all over. Like, do you think that this guy's gonna just let anybody drive by look into his house?
Yeah.
Sure. But I'm not a criminal, and I've never gotten away with any major crime that I'm going to admit to on a podcast. But I would assume best practice is to not commit serious felonies in front of a floor to ceiling window. It's just, I mean, you get sloppy in this game and you're done,
Yeah, I mean, that's not where I would commit a crime. I'm just saying that it's probably like not the worst, but it's probably not the best either.
And so at this point, with Avery moved out of the room or out of the fucking house, Sarah insists, still holding Elias hostage, that Kyle open the safe, which he does at this point. And we get the next big reveal of the film. The safe is empty. Nothing in it.
Twist number 1, baby.
And
well, actually, twist number 2. Is this twist number 2?
What was twist number? Oh, that one of the robbers installed the security system.
Well, no, that one of the robbers is sleeping with Nicole Kidman.
That we're not even to that yet.
Oh my god,
not even close.
Yeah, that hasn't even.
Jesus
that
Christ.
reveal didn't reveal yet.
Yeah, in post, just put a big bleep over that, just to pique the curiosity of the listeners.
I'm gonna put a big fart noise instead.
That's better. That's better. All right, yeah, I cut it, print it. This is ruined. Look, join us. I get it. You're probably not digging this story. but you're gonna want to hear how much worse it gets. I assure you of that, because if you think we've hit rock bottom, we have an industrial sized diamond drill.
Bet this breakdown is more interesting than watching the movie. I guarantee it, actually.
That is our whole market strategy. Yeah. This is what it is.
We talked about Face Off for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's a good movie that we want people to watch. But I think our true value to our listeners is describing dog shit movies that they definitely don't ever want to watch. But it might be entertaining to hear about with color commentary.
Yeah,
and that is I made a tightrope we're trying to walk.
I made a joke when we were recording our The Wrestler episode that this movie should just be called And Then It Gets Worse. But like in a good way. This movie is And Then It Gets Worse, but like as you, the watcher, of just what?
Yeah, The Wrestler is a crucible of human suffering. This is a crucible of viewer suffering.
Yeah, this isn't trying to make a point. It's just trying to hurt you.
Yeah, this is that Michael Scott shit. This feels like a hate crime. It's not a hate crime. Well, I hated it.
Yeah, no. It's rough, but I promise you it gets so much dumber from here. And I have so much vitriol inside me that I still need to spew out to get this out of my system. And maybe that'll be entertaining to listen to. And in the meantime, feel free to give us a follow on social media. You can find us on stupid fucking X at cagefight_pod before that thing impacts the earth with the same force as the meteor that killed the dinosaurs. So get it while the getting's good.
Just dead name it. Call it Twitter. Who cares?
Oh, Jesus.
Patreon.com/Nic Cage Fight. Every single episode without ads for $1 because I'm still doing that. $1 a month. Please give us your money. I'm so hungry.
Our summer sales event.
It's a hell of a deal, folks. And I know we don't fucking advertise it very often. And when we do, we explicitly mention that it's for Uncle. But far and away, our highest popularity social media site is definitely Facebook. Now, granted, a vast majority of the people who follow us on Facebook are people who are super old and think we are Nic Cage.
They're my favorite people.
Constantly inundated by people telling us Nicolas Cage to keep them in our thoughts and prayers.
It's all of the messages. They're like, Nic Cage, I love your work. And we want to be like, yeah, no, that's really great. In fact, I need your help specifically. There's a great movie that you would love that just needs a little bit more financing to get off the ground. But as we said before in this episode, we're not leaning into the evil grift just yet. Let Rich get a little bit more hungry and we'll consider it.
No, I'm just really nice to these people. Like,
I know.
Oh my God, Nic Cage, you're so great. Like, oh my God, thank you so much for listening. Here's us. Like, we are not Nic Cage.
It's in case you were curious about it, Rich does run our Facebook responses 100%. And I see shit all the time where I'm just impressed by his restraint, kindness, and charm on that fucking platform.
Well, it's so much easier than like when I used to do a political podcast where like I'd wake up in the morning and just be like, well, how many death threats did I get today? Only 4? Light day. Okay, this is going to be a good one. Because for some reason, like you could have a podcast with fucking 30 listeners a month and half of them will still be like, I'm going to fucking kill you.
I'm telling you, man, the one thing the Nic Cage Fight podcast does not have is hate listeners. There's nobody listening to us because they're so fucking angry about what we're saying. And that's hurting us from a business perspective.
I haven't gotten one death threat. And like, I'd probably do better monetarily if we started getting death threats. But also not worrying about getting death threats is pretty dope.
It is nice. It's nice to just do a creative endeavor where people aren't trying to find out where you live and work.
I mean, I'm still going to bleep all the shit that doxes us.
100%.
I flagged at least one in this episode so far.
Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that just in general. But it's nice to know that it's a lower probability for this topic, at least. So
yeah, like who could be mad at three nerds talking about the fucking Con Air guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's some out there.
Yo, I watched Con Air this week.
I
forgot that Steve Buscemi
was
in it.
Seal and John Cusack. Cusack's pretty good in that movie.
No, I've seen Con Air before.
Yeah.
It was Face Off I had never seen.
Oh, right. And didn't you say you also haven't seen The Rock?
I have not seen The Rock, but I've seen.
Okay. I've seen Con Air. Treat.
I've seen Con Air 50 times. That's why I was like, I don't mind like watching this now because I already know it. I already know about the bunny. You gotta
prime the pump for when we get to that one.
Yeah.
Like those 3 movies are my Desert Island movies. That's all I need. All right. So yeah, please. I know it's tough, but go through this difficult journey with us. Maybe you'll learn something about us. Maybe you'll learn something about yourself. Join us for part 2 of Trespass. Next time, listener.
God, I forgot the name of the movie, and then you said it. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's also a dumb name for this movie.
It is a dumb name for this movie.
Yeah, they're not even trespassing. All the way down. They're breaking and entering.
It's a Matryoshka doll of bad decisions and awful storytelling.
Real quick, I just want to tell a story. So I was at a flea market like 2 years ago, and one of our Patreon members, Mike, can tell you about this story too.
Getting bleeped.
This is making work for post.
Sorry,
it's all good.
So I go and they have like a Russian nesting doll, and I see it's Saddam Hussein.
Oh, they had a Saddam Hussein Matryoshka.
I'm like, this is hilarious. I would like this. How much currency do I have to give you? And he's like $60.
God damn.
And I'm like, okay, no, I'm ready to do it until he starts opening them up. Now, I thought it was just going to be a bunch of Saddam Husseins, which would be very funny to me.
That's right. I guarantee you it was worse as it went down. I knew as soon as you fucking said it.
There was a Hitler. There was a Hillary.
Oh,
there was a Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh.
It was weird. It was a very weird mix, but the end one was Hillary Clinton, and I was like, I can't have this.
No,
I can't give you.
Was it a
Kaczynski
original though? That might have been worth the price tag.
I don't know. I don't know. I actually regret every day not buying it.
I regret you not buying that.
Yeah.
God damn, that was a.
I just wanted like 5 Saddam Husseins. Like that would have been funny to me.
You had expectations, and those caused you to miss out on something real, truly a special sort of unhinged.
I know. I fucked it up.
I'm surprised one of them wasn't Fidel Castro. I get the vibe like that dude would have liked that.
I saw the Hillary and I kind of blacked out from there.
Yeah.
Because I do remember a Hitler. I remember a Stalin. There could have been a Castro.
Saddam, Stalin, Hitler, Jeffrey Dahmer, Hillary Clinton.
And I think there was a 6th one that was either like Castro or Bin Laden. I forget. Again, I kind of blacked out at this point.
Yeah.
It should have been another curveball, like Pitbull, Mr. 305 at the bottom, something like that. That would have made it probably the best Matryoshka doll ever.
Apropos of nothing.
It's just
Mr.
fucking
Rogers.
Paul Walker from Fast and the Furious.
Right. All right.
Yeah, but he's got like angel wings and it says RIP on him.
All right, we're not topping this one, folks. No. Join us next time for Trespass Part 2. It's gonna be awful. The movie, not the podcast. Give us a chance. And as always, listeners, especially after an episode about a tough movie like this one, we appreciate you.